let's go to part 2. Yeah, to understand a little more depression, and then probably to talk about tiredness. What is the difference between tiredness and sadness and nihilism? Yeah, and most important, how we can treat ourselves. Okay? Have you ever wondered if sadness is different than depression, is included in depression? Do you wonder if you have depression or how heavy it is? How you can treat your depression? Well, stay with me today. This is part 2 of this topic. In the last week, you can find the number 1 and you can listen first this and then come back. That's okay. Okay? Let's start. Welcome to this podcast, Emotions in Harmony. I am so happy that you are here. And if you are in this YouTube, please subscribe to the YouTube. You also have this in audio format in podcast, in any podcast venue that you may like. And this is Emotions in Harmony. We are talking about sadness. We have been talking last week about sadness, how and when is normal and how we can express sadness. And actually, I didn't put some examples for you that I am going to actually mention those examples here because in the Spanish ones we did. My first example is let's think about sadness. Let's imagine, this is going to be a smelly sample, sorry about that. Let's imagine a fridge. You have your fridge and you bring food and you put the food there and then you close the fridge, disconnect the fridge and leave it there for 2 weeks. It's going to be really bad, yeah? Now, leave it there for a year or 2 or many years. Oh my God. And then try to clean this fridge is going to be awful. Yes, that can be sadness turned into depression. Maybe years ago we started with sadness and we didn't pay attention, we didn't find a way, or we didn't know how to express ourselves. Because it's not always our fault. It could be like we were too young or we didn't, nobody helped us, yeah? And we just accumulate and accumulate. Or it could be actually that I have in my cells, in my genes, that sadness from my mom, from my mother's mom, from my lineage of women, mainly. We inherit mainly from the lineage of women, or dad too, yeah. Something interesting is that is the first for the lifespan, and mom can be for generations. So we inherit that sadness probably. So it's not our fault. But that sadness that we don't pay attention, that we don't express, that we avoid, is going to be really smelly. In fact, it's true. Sadness smells like, did you ever smell like battery? Like this, when you crash a battery and it smells like metal combined with something? That is the smell of sadness. So this, now we are talking about depression. Yeah. If you are experiencing that, you may find yourself with some of these symptoms. And the manual for diagnostic and disorders, the DSM-5-TR, says that you need to have at least 5 symptoms to think about depression. And wait, before you run to diagnose yourself, please don't. Please don't diagnose yourself. This is just for general information. This is just for you to know when to seek services. If you want to diagnose yourself and then only you want to do something about it, it's like not knowing about how to fix your car and trying to fix your car. You may actually end up killing yourself, literally. Yeah? So don't diagnose yourself, just seek professional help. But here it is, 5 of these symptoms. And actually this morning I read in the YouTube in Spanish that somebody say, oh my God, my daughter has 5 or more symptoms. What I do? Seek professional help. That will be my answer if you ask me to. So when we are sad for a long time, or when we experience depression for a long time, remember, it can be also our brain producing or not producing the chemicals needed for depression, for being happy. Yeah. Our thoughts change. It's like having sunglasses, very dark, intense sunglasses, and then not knowing that you have it, and then you go on life thinking that life is that dark. Yeah. This is how your brain processes that. It's like, no, that's reality. This is how dark it is. And then you can talk to somebody depressed and say, no, necessarily. No, yes, it is. Yeah. Because your perception has been distorted. Probably there is not an event recently that you may blame for your depression. There is no clear explanation that has been sadness, but if you remember, we passed 2-3 weeks, around 2 weeks, and you still have this sadness, let's think about depression, at least a single episode of depression. Or somebody may have chronic depression. Yeah. Actually, I got here the DSM text revised because I want to be very precise with you. So you need to have one of the symptoms in order to call it depression. Yeah, either depressed mood or loss of interest and pleasure. This is one that needs to be definitely if we want to call it depression. But something very interesting to note is that this symptom is not the result of another medical condition. Yeah, and this is why you cannot diagnose yourself. This is why you need to find somebody who does it for you, because it may be so many roots what sadness is there in your life. Yeah. So sadness is not only for depression. Yeah. So those are the symptoms: depressed mood most of the day, or nearly every day. Yeah. Like you have this feeling of sad or emptiness or hopelessness. Yeah. You have this diminished interest in pleasure in all your activities like you used to before. Yeah, you used to have this enjoyment. It's like, oh, I never liked golf, Carmen, and now I'm worried that I don't like golf. No, you never liked it before. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Significant weight loss or increase in the loss, insomnia, like being active, psychomotor agitation or retardation, loss of energy, and inappropriate guilt. That's something really important too. Recurrent thoughts of death, and not necessarily of dying. It can be thinking about death in general. Yeah, like life became too short, and now you see that the end of your life will come soon, even though you don't have other indication, like you don't have a terminal diagnosis, or you don't have somebody saying that to you or something. So you have that idea. And also it can be suicidal ideation. Yeah, and that suicidal ideation can be with intent to act, like, I have the idea, I want to kill myself, Carmen, and I already bought a gun, which is so easy in this country, I already got a rope, or I already have a knife, and I'm going to do it. Or can be suicidal ideation with no intent, like, no, but I think that people will be better off without me. Yeah, I will never kill myself, but I don't have this desire to live. That depression is sad, yeah, to talk about it. Let's talk about when you have nihilism. Nihilism is more in the philosophical aspect, more than the psychological aspect. And nihilism is this feeling of emotional emptiness, this lack of faith in the future, or this inability to enjoy happy moments. And we can do a whole episode in nihilism. But nihilism, it can be a point of view of life that actually you can inherit culturally from those when you grow up or from your environment, or from everything around you. It can be also, has to do probably the way in the country that you are growing, the circumstances in the history that you are growing. So much out there out of not in control for us, And what about burnout? What about if you experience depression or intense sadness because you are so exhausted? Actually, sometimes and very often, I receive women around their 50, 60-year-old exhausted because they work 2-3 jobs to help the family. And why I say women, because women tend to not prioritize themselves more than men. I have a lot of other genders not prioritizing themselves, but for some reason, women tend to do it more. So if you didn't prioritize yourself, if you didn't have enough rest, if you didn't take care of your medical needs or whatever you have in need, and when you are 40, 50, 60, your body is exhausted. You cannot keep going on and on and on and on forever. So they come to the point of exhaustion that is almost like extreme depression. And this is why in the movies there is always this psychiatrist or psychologist giving you the note, the prescription that you need to go 2-3 weeks on vacation. And it's true. Yes, go on vacation. And not only go on vacation, because it doesn't matter if you go on vacation 2-3 weeks and then come back to the same. No, go on vacation and create a plan for you. So you can start incorporating resting time, me time into your life. Guilty. I am in this with you. I need to constantly have a battle with myself to have this me time. And it feels so good. Okay. So let's talk about, we are already talking about treatment. Let's officially talk about treatment. Well, what about treatment for sadness? You may ask. Cry. Please cry. This is the most cheap, amazing, and effective way to treat sadness. And I didn't say this in Spanish, so you are going to listen here. If you cry intensely and with your body, with your heart, you are going to cry with your entire body. And that's very healing experience. If you cry because of a tantrum, because you wanted something and you didn't get it and you are like behaving like a child, you will be crying from your shoulders up. You cannot be forcing your crying. So allow your body to cry. And doesn't need to be this loud expression. It can be drawing. It can be playing your instrument. It could be taking a long bath, and maybe it will be 1 or 2 tears. That's okay. And maybe it will not be tears. That's okay. But your body is expressing that. Listen. If you don't cry when you need to cry, which, oh my God, I am a crier sometimes, and I cry in the most unexpected places, and I don't like it. But hey, I cried. So when you cry, you make yourself vulnerable. And people tend to worry and they want to do everything to avoid you crying. But it's because they are worried about themselves, not worried about that much sometimes about you. They are worried because we don't know what to do when another person cries, We don't know what to do. It's like, oh my God, what I do, because that's so much anxiety provoking. So allow yourself to cry. And if you are not ready to cry in public, cry in private. Allow yourself to be vulnerable to yourself. Get close to your loved ones. If you are sad, tell your loved ones, the positive ones. The ones who are also extremely sad and or have a negative point of view, they will not help you, even though they love you and they will not help you. So the positive ones. Compassion. Compassion is another very good tool. Self-compassion. Yes, I am so sad today that I'm not going to clean. I'm not going to do laundry today. That's okay. I am so sad today that I'm not going to go to that party, even though my mother-in-law will be very angry. I'm not. I have my 2 weeks, like Carmen said, or my 3 weeks, yeah? And I'm going to take care of myself. Allow yourself to do positive thinking. Positive thinking can be slowly inserted into your brain. And what I mean by that? When you are really sad about a situation, when somebody's son died or somebody's daughter died, you don't come and say, everything is going to be okay, don't worry. No, it's not going to be okay. I lost a person that I truly love. I lost a person that I feel like my life is going with him or her or them. No, it's not okay. But if I say, I can sleep for the next 2 hours, probably I can eat some little bowl of soup, or probably I can go for a walk. Oh, that's okay, I can take the dog for a walk. This slow, positive thinking movement is going to help you in the long run. Yeah, of course I can allow myself to sit here with another person that is positive and let them laugh. And I don't feel like laughing right now, but I can enjoy their laugh. Yeah, I know when we are sad, it's not easy. Now let's talk about, we talk about tiredness, what you do when you are tired. Yeah, make a plan, take time off, enjoy your time off without the phone, not even for fun. If you are resting and you are scrolling through social media, your brain is not resting. We have so many thoughts per minute or per second that you are just feeding yourself with something that probably is not healthy. So really resting. Yeah. And if you figure out that you may have depression, remember you cannot diagnose yourself, but okay, you say, yes, I may have depression. You start by going to psychotherapy. Then we are not talking about literature or books or anything. No, going to your own professional and get a professional opinion. And in conjunction with psychotherapy, probably you need to go to psychiatry. I recommend not to start by your general doctor. And this is why I don't recommend. I love my general doctor. But they are not prepared for this. Their job is to take care of their body, and they will. But they are not prepared to take care of the mind. So they probably give you pills, and then you think it's a solution, and then you drink the pills, and then you think you are, okay, treating yourself now. But there are so much complications when you just take the pills. First of all, they need to tell you that those pills may get you worse the first 3 weeks to the point that may have suicidal ideation. They need to tell you that. And you need psychotherapy and psychiatry for that. So take care of yourself with the appropriate professionals. And don't worry if you need to take pills. I know for Latino community, we don't like pills. We do everything else. Many times my clients come and say, I got the prescription, but it's there. I'm not going to take it. Or I take it when I feel it. Like, no. Talk to your psychiatrist. Explain, even be brave and say, I don't want to take them. If I don't want to take them, can I take them whenever I feel like it? And then your psychiatrist will explain whether you can or not. Or your psychiatrist may prescribe something lower. Or it will tell you, it will change the medicine probably. So talk to your psychiatrist. Don't worry if you need medicine. You may not need medicine in a couple months from now. Don't worry if you are going to get addicted, because you can work with psychotherapy and get off your meds. Or if you worry about getting addicted, talk to your psychiatrist and say, what about if I get addicted? So they can change the meds, or they can do further studies. Maybe your body is prone to be addicted by a medicine, and maybe this is why you worry. Talk to your psychiatrist, please. And always bring the list of your meds to your psychologist. Because your psychologist, unless the person has a special permission to prescribe, a psychologist shouldn't be prescribing. But there are psychologists that go further and get this special permission. So, but they should know what meds you are taking because of the side effects, especially emotional side effects. Yeah. So, there are many options for treatment depression. We can also do another episode on that. Yeah, like in severe depression, people may go on meds for life. But listen, in my life, in 2 years, having like less than 20 people that they need meds for life for depression. It's not that common as you think. And if somebody needs meds for life and they can get it, good. Yeah, that's good. That gives them that better positive view of life, and that helps them to be happy. And if you are that in the middle that you don't need for life and you don't want the meds, do a lot of exercise, not a lot, but do a good amount of exercise. Go out, get vitamin D through the sun, do teas, do whatever you need to do, but be proactive with your health, with your mental health in particular. Oh my God, I think I'm just talking here just because it's a very nice day. And it's a very interesting topic. So thank you for being here with me. I hope you enjoyed this part 1 and part 2. In Spanish, we did, I think, part 3. Because I put more examples probably. But it's the same topic. You can listen in Spanish in the podcast Armonía Emocional or the YouTube Armonía Emocional, or you can find YouTube or podcast Emotions in Harmony. Subscribe, send us a note, send us a comment, share please. And as always, I am very happy. This is Carmen Roman, clinical psychologist, so happy to be sharing with you this information. Bye for now.